What's up, everybody? It's Priyon Joni, and this is part 4 of my home studio build. Okay, so before I start this episode, I gotta give a shout out to the Foam Factory because in the previous episode, I talked about how they sent me the wrong foam. I was supposed to get a 12 by 12 by 24, and I ended up with a 12 by 12 by 12. These are gonna expand into a cube, and I needed these to be tall so that I could fit them inside the corners of the base traps. When I contacted them, they asked me if I wanted to just keep these 12 by 12 by 12s at a discount of 75% off. And to be honest, I kind of don't really have a use for the cubes. So I told them no, I repackaged them and I told them I'm ready to send it back. I really need the 12 by 12 by 24 because they're going inside those. So when they contacted me back, they told me go ahead and keep the cubes and we'll still send you the 12 by 12 by 24 at no cost. So shout out to the Foam Factory. I'm going to leave their website right here. I think they also go by the company name Foam by Mail. They even have a chart where these things actually outperform the Auralex brand ones of equivalent size. And the base traps, they just slightly underperform the Auralex, but when you take in consideration how different the prices are compared to the Auralex base traps, these are actually more cost effective. So if you use enough of them, these can actually be more efficient than the Auralex ones. So check out their chart. I don't plan on keeping these forever, but I started off with these and I'm using these for now till I upgrade the acoustics in here and retune the room. Now, speaking of tuning the room, let's get part 4 started. So today what we are doing is we are tuning the room, meaning now that the acoustics are up, we're going to take the listening position and we're going to tune the speakers, the equalization of the speakers, to be as flat as possible. Now, the truth is, there is no studio monitor that is perfectly flat. Now, the more expensive they go, the flatter they sound. But what you can do is you can actually electronically flatten it using software or hardware to get a more flattened frequency band. Now, the thing to know about the Drive Rack is that it's actually not made for a studio. It's a PA management system for your pro audio setup for live speakers. It's primarily used as a crossover, which I'm not using in this case because the crossover is done at the subwoofer. Aside from boosting my signal, what it also has is it has an input for an RTA mic. And what an RTA mic is one of these. It's a condenser microphone that's specifically used commonly to tune a room because it's very, very flat the way it picks up. So what's cool about the DBX Drive Rack is that it could actually take a microphone set up in a room, an RTA mic, and it can generate a pink noise and it will take the EQ and flatten it. It'll boost some frequencies, cut some frequencies based on the feed in the RTA mic. And it's really easy to use. It's very similar to how room tuning software works for studios and some room tuning hardware. I know JBL has one. And I'm not using software in this case. I actually like using hardware because everything that I feed, whether it be an instrument or not, is fed through this before the speakers so that everything is always running flat. So I'll show you how this works. First, you want to set up your RTA mic on a mic stand at about your listening position. And as you can see here, I put it where my chair is. And it's connected via XLR, running to the RTA input. Click RTA input, the button. Basically, I set the response to 0. The other responses are actually different curves. I want it as flat as possible. Selection 0 is the flattest. I set the precision to high since we're using a high quality RTA mic. I go to next page, and here is where you set the pink noise level. So just so you can hear me, I'm going to set it to about -8 dB. And then I'm going to walk away and I'm going to show you guys how this whole thing works. So here we go. Okay, so it says release RTA input. Press the RTA button to exit, and then you press program, press store to advance, store again, and storing. Now you're saved. And to actually view the way the DBX driver set the EQ, you click on the EQ button to access the EQ menu, and you can see the frequency. It's kind of pixely, but you can see the frequencies that it cut and boosted right there. You can reset them, like if you want to fine tune by ear, or if you need a little bit of a bass boost. For me, I got used to a really bassy room, so maybe I will boost the bass a little bit, or maybe I won't, and maybe I need to learn how to mix flat. So for now, in this stereo setup, this is my best way to tune the room. And what's cool is that it's not only what's coming out of my interface or my computer that's going through this, because this thing runs the entire audio. It flattens anything I put into the mixer. So if I'm playing on the DJ gear, it's gonna be flat. If I'm playing on the keyboard, the guitar, the EQ is gonna be flat. And just so you know, it's flat coming from the listening area right here. Remember, the audio does change when you walk around the room. It gets bassier when you go closer to a wall. It gets less bassy when you're in the center of the room, like right here, because that's where low frequency waves tend to cancel out. So yeah, that's part 4, tuning my room in stereo for whenever I'm using 2 speakers. Well, 2 speakers plus a subwoofer, 2.1. I would use the DBX drive rack. Now I have to figure out what the best way to tune it in the case of when I have a 5.1 surround system here with studio monitors. So that's sometime in the future. So this was part 4 of my home studio build. For part 5, we're gonna wrap things up. Hopefully by then the foam from the Foam Factory shows up and I can finally finish up the acoustics in here and retune the room one more time. I'm also gonna start setting up my guitar in here and do a couple sound checks. So that's coming out in part 5. If you're new to my channel and you like this video, be sure to share it with your friends that you think would like this video, and also hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to check that bell icon so that you get a notification the next time I upload a video, including part 5. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.